Welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics All Oracles Challenge. Today we are heading to Barius Valley. Barius Valley presents some interesting new tactical things to think about. Happy New Year 2022. This is being recorded in the early January of 2022. This battle presents some interesting challenges, not because of the split party, not really because of the units that are in this fight, but it's the fact that Barius has to stay on her feet for the entire battle. I do not have any access to healing outside of Drain Life, which cannot heal another unit, nor do I have any control over what Barius does herself. So, you can see how this can get a little bit dicey when I have a pretty slow party that usually takes a few actions to deal with characters or units, and sometimes we like to turtle up in the back of the map and let the enemies come to us, whereas Barius pretty much jumps in there. She doesn't really retreat. In the first round of this one that I lost, I tried to play a little bit safe because I kind of forgot about the Barius thing. I was just kind of like quick X'd through the save Barius part. It's been a while since I played this game. So I forgot that Barius could not go down, and so she charged into battle while we sat back there, and she took all the damage from all those guys and went down. So now we have to be a little bit more aggressive with this party, which is not really set up to be aggressive. So what I'm looking at here is looking to see what Ramza can do with that wizard right there. And we're going to at least mark that wizard for silence. So even if the wizard gets an action, the wizard won't use a casting spell if it thinks that it's going to have silence cast on it before that spell can resolve. So I also have the mantles on some of my characters, so that they can dodge some of the incoming damage. So instead of the boots, we have the mantles, so our movement's a little bit more limited than with the boots. And those two oracles right there, they're going to have no chance to become part of this section of the battle across the river. So there's really no point in them jumping up because their movement is so poor. They can't jump over that island. They're going to have to go all the way to the bottom of the map and cross at that stone at the bottom. So they're going to play it a little bit like a traditional Oracle battle, where they're going to hang out back there and let the units on their side come to them. So Barius right there gets a critical hit on the Stasis Sword, getting the Knight and the Wizard. Silence has resolved, so the Wizard is nullified for now. And so we're actually in okay shape with these guys. Now, the the Archer right there happens to have Item and Echo Grass, so yeah, thank you. So the Archer is able to cure silence from that wizard before that wizard even gets an action now, which is pretty frustrating. So because we just wasted an action from that wizard, which is, yeah, kind of infuriating. But that kind of stuff can happen, and that will happen with this lineup that we have here. And now we're all bunched up for this spell that's incoming now. So do with that what you will, I guess. That's just them's the breaks. Randomly having basic skill with heal and randomly having item with Echo Grass is something we're going to have to deal with. Now, that also, I'm not sure how that's going to impact things like soft. I don't know if they have item. Will they have soft learned? Will they be able to come and throw a soft at one of our characters? You know, so I have no idea if they'll be able to do that. It looks like I'm just trying to take care of that Archer right there. Now, luckily, the bolt is guarded, and that is the mantles coming into effect right there. So the bolt that the wizard threw right there was just blocked by the mantles. And so here we're moving into, I think, stick range. Yes. Boom. So that was just a move to get that Archer, or the Oracle, into range of attack with the stick so she could get right to it. You can see again that we are much more aggressive with this lineup than we are with other things, because we just can't let Barius sit there and do nothing. So I'm looking to see what I can do. I don't know if I want to get too cutesy with confusion in this battle. I think I probably want to go for the more reliable paralyze. Just don't act that Knight. It looks like it was a 95 chance to hit, so pretty solid. And now I've got to take care of this Archer and at least get that Knight nullified as well on the other side. So just checking up on that archer, really looking for her name and turn order. And sadly, looks like Ramza doesn't have great compatibility with her. And he also has got kind of a funky turn order, so he is going to go for Don't Act. It's a lower chance to hit, but it's gonna go off before she gets a turn. So if it does pop, then we'll be protected. So the wizard on the other side where other two oracles landed, that wizard, instead of coming towards them, went ahead and jumped across the river. Now that knight did guard the 95% chance for Don't Act. That's the 5% dodge right there from a shield. So you can actually see the knight hold the shield up for that. That's magic evade. And let's see if this archer can be inflicted. Indeed she is. It's good. Going Agrius right at the front and misses the attack, thankfully. So now we have one more wizard who's going to be entering the fray here, and it's Agrius getting targeted again. So these oracles right here need to start moving their way towards getting across the river, but also trying to finish off the archer that's over there. So they need to do a little bit of both. And I guess something that they could do is they could just ignore her. Sleep will last a pretty decent time in this if they're just left alone. Sleep will last a pretty decent time. So they could have just moved and waited once they got her to sleep. They could have just gone move, wait, and saved some CT right there. And Agrius is going to stasis sword on the knights. There's one inflicted with stop, and there's two inflicted with stop. So that was really solid. Thank you, Agrius. And she does not move out of harm's way, interestingly. She doesn't move out of the way. She's still right there ready to take that bolt, and I think that's because of what you saw right there, where the wizard seemed to be targeting the bolt spell right on Agrius. So I think that the game was smart enough. Thankfully, the game was smart enough to keep Agrius right there, so that she would take that bolt and also deliver it to the knights, her neighbors. I'm checking the turn order on the name from that wizard, and we're just looking to see what we can use. Let's see if sleep will land. Don't Act a little bit more, and silence is a little faster. It's right about the same, so I think we're going to go with, yep, paralyze, a little bit better chance to hit, and that actually a tiny bit more effective because it will stop the wizard from swinging what might be an elemental rod. So it could actually, the wizard could attack with a rod and do an elemental attack that way if it procs the spell. And so here the sticks are coming into play again because Ramza is going to go, he's going to go for the stick here. Sadly, very low damage, even for the stick. Unfortunate there. Okay, so the wizard is incapacitated. No problem. We're going to have two low probability rolls of Petrify on this archer over here. And we get it on the first one. So now those oracles really can just move and wait until they can get in there. So they'll get turns a little bit sooner. And this is the limitation of those battle boots. When they've got two characters who can't occupy the same space and having to move through water and all that, they're really missing out on a lot of their space. So Agrius going for stasis sword right there on that last one. Now this archer is still here, and I think she is still fully capable. She's not been knocked down with paralyze or anything. So we do want to make sure she's not able to, charge a big attack on Agrius or something. But she's also got some evasion there. It's hard to land stuff on her, unfortunately, because I really don't want Agrius to have to eat a big charge. At this point in the fight, I don't really care if one of my oracles goes down because I think we can win fast enough. So here we're going to move into stick range just to polish off that knight that's in stop status. Oh, she is Don't Act. That archer is in Don't Act status. There we go. Okay. So I guess we're looking at what sleep can do, what refreshing Don't Act can do, because looking to at maybe refreshing it so that we have the maximum number of shots on it. It's going to be hard to actually get to her to attack with the stick, so we're going to be having to either hit her with a Petrify or a bunch of Drain Lives. So there was Don't Act just healed on her, so now we do have to get it reapplied. Don't Act is shorter than Sleep in its duration. All right, so now we can actually start moving across the river here to get more targets out. But because that Archer can pretty much choose her target, whatever she wants, I just don't want to have to go after Agrius if she gets weak. Because in this battle, it's not only Agrius has to not become a crystal, Agrius has to actually stay on her feet right there. So we're going to go with the damage route here. The damage is a little bit more reliable this way, so she's going for the stick. And we are going to look at, check out the life drain. Yep, and life drain is a fast one. Thankfully, it's a fast one. That'll come in really handy in the Golgorand execution site coming up soon. That will become very handy. So she pulls some life out. Looks like Ramza's going to do the same thing. She'll get a turn, but she can't act yet. So we just need to land a couple more drain lives on her, or get another couple turns with the stick wielder. Now, thankfully, Agrius is doing something smart. She's getting out of the way. I'm not sure what prompted her to do that. Normally, Agrius, I would think, would have gone right up and tried to get closer to range of attack on that last remaining unit, but maybe if Agrius didn't see a clear line, I don't know. But Agrius just jumps into the deep water there, so I'm happy to take that. I will take that all day. Agrius, just jump in, get in there, let us mop up down here. And I'm not sure what she's looking at. She's nowhere near close to the range. I think maybe she's looking at the turn order, because we're not close to being in range yet. And there's no stick attack right there. I think the stick can only attack up 1 or 2 height. So I think we're just looking at going to another life drain. So we are just in mop-up mode here. We've been actually kind of fortunate so far with getting the life drains to land. They've been kind of low chances to hit, but let's see if we can get a physical attack for the final here. There it is. So Agrius did stay on her feet. Barius Valley is taken care of, and now we're heading on to some of the scarier fights in this game. If you like this video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave a comment, or hit me up on Twitter. I'm also active _ATE. We will see you next time.